what do you guys want to do today?
Hey, why don't we go catch a movie?
Wow, I heard the trailer is so sick.
Thomas, a revolution is starting. A scientific revolution.
The results of our future depend on it.
A revolution?
Possibly one of the most influential scientific philosophers of all time is Thomas Samuel Kuhn. If you've heard of the terms paradigm and scientific revolution, then lo and behold, you've heard of his work. So where do we begin? Let's start with paradigms. So a paradigm is the idea created by Kuhn and is a collection of scientific methods, evidence, and theories that create a worldview. These worldviews provide a universal explanation that is widely accepted by the population. So what defines a paradigm is the recognition of past achievements, definition of important problems, relevant tools and methods for testing, and making future predictions. All of these together create this aforementioned worldview, an example of this being, let's say, how the dinosaurs went extinct and the famous meteor theory. But moving away from dinosaurs and back to Kuhn, let's take a look at this chart. This structure of scientific revolutions will make a great example for us. Kuhn believes that a mature science is one that alternates between periods of normal science and revolutions. At the top of the chart, we see a normal science where scientists believe in the current paradigm. Key theories, measurements, instruments, predictions, and overall beliefs are held in constant in this normal science bubble. But there are times of revolution where these disciplinary sciences undergo revisions or changes. And that brings us to the next part, which is an anomaly. And I'll quote Kuhn for this. This is a great quote. Kuhn believes that an anomaly is the recognition that nature has somehow violated the paradigm-induced expectations that govern normal science. So an anomaly is not just an odd finding, but an odd finding that the community agree to be real and not a fluke. This occurs through repeated experimentation to make sure the anomaly did not occur by error. And as this gets tested more and more, an aggregation of these anomalies can grow into a growing crisis in the paradigm. Now, in this growing crisis, this anomaly becomes more accepted, like we said, and can lead to a shift in the worldview, and that's what's termed a paradigm shift. So on pen and paper, this sounds fantastic, but I believe a real-world example would help illustrate this even better. Kuhn uses various examples, but I'm going to stick with the one of James Clerk Maxwell's mathematization of the electromagnetic field as a paradigm. Essentially, Maxwell demonstrates that electric and magnetic fields travel through space waves moving at the speed of light. And however, the difficulty in his work was his equations, they fluctuated and changed based on whether or not the observer was moving or not. These difficulties were actually overcome by Albert Einstein, another famous physicist that you probably have heard of, and his theory of special relativity. So this model actually took into account whether or not the observer was moving, and this is an equation that holds true to this day. This actually helped structure the universe that we believe in, and of course it is the worldview that we believe in to this day. So you can say this was a paradigm shift from Maxwell, who was extremely influential, to Einstein's theory of special relativity, which we hold to this day as our worldview. So to wrap it up, paradigms are worldly beliefs. Mature sciences alternate through periods of normal science and scientific revolution. Revolution begins during periods of normal science, and if an anomaly occurs, it leads to further investigation. Should the same result continue to appear over and over again, it becomes a growing crisis. Is the anomaly now becoming the norm? Well, that's what the testing is for. And as the anomaly continues to gain traction in the scientific community, it can lead to a change in the worldview or a paradigm shift.
So what did you think, Podrick and Brienne? Did that make sense?
But there's actually a scientific revolution outside. They're revolting.
Woo! I love it! Wow.